on 4/29/15, April 29th. Motion?
Second.
Hey, Randy. It says that everybody is available. Yeah, second meeting. There's one.
We can't hear up here. Please be quiet. Thank you.
And right now we're doing the amended minutes. There's a roll call. Mr. Jenkins.
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz.
Yes.
Mr. Tipp.
Yes.
Mr. Weinberger. Mrs. Lyman.
Yes.
Mr. Friedman. Yes. Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, also, I have the amended minutes for 5/13/2015. Mr. Schwartz abstain on that. Can I have a motion? Motion.
Second.
I guess that would be Ms. Gonzalez. Mr. Jankovich.
Yes.
Mr. Tipp. Yes. Mr. Weinberger is out. Mrs. Lacken.
Yes.
Mr. Friedman.
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Did you want to do the corrections or you want to do the public first?
Do the public.
Okay. Ms. Kimberly Shaw.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Shaw, and I just wanted to introduce myself as the new president of the Lakewood Education Association. I just wanted to take the opportunity to commend the Board of Education on their decision to reinstate the German program at Lakewood High School. At the last board meeting, Mrs. Gregson and her students spoke of the impact that the German program has had on their lives. The students also spoke of the importance and inclusion of multiple foreign languages in the district curricula, especially a language as prominent in global business culture as German. I am sure that you are as proud of the students as I am. Their determination and enthusiasm for learning another language is a credit to their teacher, Mrs. Gregson, and their parents who are undoubtedly instilling in them what we all hope will be a lifelong love of learning. There are a lot of things that make Lakewood Public Schools special, but our students are the number one reason. Thank you for working with the members of the Lakewood Education Association, students, parents, and administrators to keep our schools strong and to provide every child with the opportunity to succeed and grow. Thank you.
Anthony Grayson.
Good evening, I'm Angelique Gregson, I'm a German teacher. I just want to thank you for continuing the program. I really think it's in the students' best interest. And most of all, I want to applaud the students for standing up for themselves and expressing at the last meeting and this meeting, they're doing something for themselves, and I think that it should be applauded. That's it, thank you.
Esther Peterson. Excuse me if I mispronounced your last name. Is she here? Who the parties?
He's serving. Thing on his face.
The lawyer.
Oh, it's Did he get hit?
No, maybe the surgery.
Don't fight over the green. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, board members and Board of Education Administration. The handouts you have has two parts to it. One part is the report for one of the RFPs that was sent in recently. The other part is I'll go through item by item. Just to introduce myself, I'm a Lakewood resident for more than 15 years and have been providing the district, primarily the private schools, with supplementary education for approximately 12 years, grades ranging from primary to 12th grade. In addition, I've been involved with special education schools such as SHI and School for Self-Contained Classrooms. I recently started a company, Frontier Education Group. We established it a little more than a year ago, and we sent in an RFP for numerous services, and I have some questions about it. I looked at the agenda, not the agenda that just came out, I'm talking about the agenda that was already out on Wednesday. It stated that the 192, 193 services was awarded to two vendors, Catapult and Tender Touch. My vendor, Front Education Group, was not awarded, and it said I should look at the report to find out what the problem was. So I went online, I took the report, and I'd like to go through with you the two items that they requested from me, and I want to explain. First item, and I quote, this is the quote from the did not provide documentation of employee licenses, certificates, and your criminal background check. As far as certificates, licenses that we did, background checks we did not give. It was not in the RFP, and I quoted there, I'm not going to waste your time just reading the whole thing, I quoted in your sheets there, regarding the criminal history report. It said to bring it at the beginning of you can have till the beginning of the year to bring it, and that's why I did not submit it to the RFP. Item number 2, a vendor not listed as approved for ESL and speech language services on the New Jersey Department of Education website. Let me explain. We last year submitted an RFP, and we were told that we could not get awarded because we were not a state-approved vendor. To which they gave us a few more weeks, and they extended themselves, but we were not able to get approved on time. Over the year, it was a good many-month process, including the papers getting lost in the department for 3 months. We finally did receive approval, and we were ready to go. We were preparing for many, many months. On May 22nd, 2 weeks before the RFP came out, it came up in conversation. One of the committee people who was running the meeting said they'd like the vendor to provide all services under Chapter 192 and 193. To which I was surprised, and I said, as some people know, we're focusing our services with Comp Ed because the population of students that I want to provide services only use Comp Ed and Title I. They don't need ESL, and they do not need speech. So, but since they said we should get it, so I therefore went, and as fast as I could, I submitted an amendment to the state. As of now, it's not on the state website yet. I expect my speech certification to be on the state website Monday, and ESL a week later. So that's in that regard.
Mr. Anita, one quick thing, two things. One, you have 4 minutes. And I have just one quick question. When you submitted the RFP, were you state approved then?
Yes.
Before you submitted the RFP?
Yes. A few months ago, I was approved.
Okay. Was that before the deadline date?
Yes. Yes. No, the question on hand is that he asked, I wasn't approved for every single service under 192, 193. That was the problem, for which they told me I should submit the RFP, and later on, I could get certification, so I'm gonna miss it right now.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you were not state approved before you put the
I was state approved
But not for
before,
everything.
but not for every single service.
That's the question.
That's correct.
Were you approved for everything before?
That was not approved for everything, that's right,
Gotcha.
that's right.
Okay.
Okay, and I was told that, I would be able to submit it.
Did the RFP request you to be approved for everything?
The RFP went through all the services. It didn't say we didn't give that as a criteria. Only at this meeting, a week, 2 weeks before the RFP, I heard about this. This was not the criteria I was ever told. I submitted last year, and I wasn't told. So I believe there's some miscommunication or misinformation.
Through the chair, do we have a copy of the RFP so we can see that what the requirements are for as far as submitting the application? If everything had to be submitted, had to be approved for everything before the application can be accepted? Does that mean
Mr. Jeff, I spoke to Mr. Shafter earlier. The individuals who are responsible for reviewing these RFPs are not present at the meeting this evening, so it's going to be very hard for us to address the concerns being raised. And we're taking some good notes, and then I suggest that I'll give Mr. Office call to Mr. Shafter so that somebody can get back to him, looking at the concerns that he's raising here this evening.
Well, good question. Based on your experience with dealing with RFPs, do they usually put that before you submit the application, was when you say it's all the RFPs, and that was one of the questions that, or does it say you can submit some now and some later? Does it specifically say that you must be approved for everything that's listed in the RFP?
It's my understanding you have to be approved for the items that you're submitting proposals for, so you can do a mix and match. You can,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so
That's not what I'm
it
saying.
would disqualify you from being qualified in certain areas, but not others.
That's the question I'm asking.
Right, so that's what my concern was. We weren't rewarded for anything, and told me at the time notice I really want to end here. I really would like to end this in 1 minute.
Real quick.
Yes, in that 1 minute. I just want to point out our program is something that is very specific, very specialized to boys' high schools or private schools, and we have 50 plus years of cumulative years of experience in this, and something we've been working on for a very long time, and we ask whatever help you could do to make this happen. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Mark, if you want to approve this tonight, can we do that on another day?
Yeah, we're gonna look at, we do have another meeting on June 30th, which is gonna be an action meeting, so if there was some mistake, we can always take action then.
Thank you.
Mr. Hoppe? Mr. Hoppe?
Bill Hallbeck, Clerk of Schoolhouse Lane, Lakewood. Good evening, Madam President, and Board of Education, Executive Administration. Welcome, Mr. Gonzalez, the Board of Education, Mr. Rodriguez, excuse me, I'm sorry, and Mr. Chukuptis. Welcome. You got a big job ahead of you. You're joining a group of people who work very hard. A lot of time, a lot of effort. Nothing is easy, but it's not as hard as you can hope. Dedication, be there, listen, contribute where you can. Listen, 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 and when you got the facts, give your ideas. I'm sure you'll do it well. Thank you so much. Now, second issue, direct your attention to pages 18 and 19 of the agenda. It is just a question. I think it's possibly an administrative error. With the 19 approval of the following school trips, 6/115, trip to Museum of Natural History, 10 students and 2 staff, and the admission is $2,500. Transportation cost is $810. That seems like an awful lot of money for 12 people to go to the Museum of Natural History, and I'm assuming this is in New York. I look on the next page and I see Museum of Natural History with 43 students and 5 staff, that's 50. At an admission cost of $645.
I noticed the same thing, Mr. Hoppe, I found that on the way as well. I also put,
Can we get an answer from the administration?
Okay, I don't need an answer as long as you folks
figure out
Well, we need an answer.
what's wrong with
There's
your
no mistake, it should be tabled.
Is it a mistake or it's not?
Looks like it. Well, being
Well, Kevin, you
today's the 19th, and the trip has already happened.
right. Meaning somebody submitted purchase order or something. Could somebody shed a light on it?
Yeah, I'm sure, listen, nobody has the paperwork here, I'm sure. Please look into it and just get those numbers correct.
Table it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Dr. Rush?
Thank you. Good evening. Mike Rush, 1502 Malibu Drive, Lakewood. First of all, to, that's not good name, Jakovovich, is that it? I studied it. And Mr. Rodriguez, both of you, Mr. Harvey said, you have a very good job. The compensation is not as good as what you get on your regular job, but you will be compensated by what happens to the students on a daily basis. I hope you serve us well. I hope you do well by the district. And just remember, and I like the fact that we have a second Latina on the board. I think that's key because it's representative of who we have in our district. And I don't mind having another Jewish person on the board as long as you guys look at the decisions and make decisions on the best issues educating kids in Lakewood. Okay, so welcome to both of you. I did spend time up there in 1985, 86, probably before you were born, but I enjoyed my 3 years, and it can be enjoyed, but I know you're not there 3 years because you were appointed. And to the board, I'm glad that you decided to appoint somebody instead of waiting for the commissioners to appoint somebody for us. So I'm glad you guys, whatever you did to talk together, you were able to do that. To the awardees, it's always good to see our teachers and our students be awarded. So the fact that this is the recess is not the end. Some people look at the school closing as an end. It's a recess. Everybody, for the students to have a break, you guys can do some workshops and get yourselves together and come back in September ready to obviously to work and do what has to be done. But to see young people getting awards, I'm so happy. I just want to talk about Marlon. Marlon is special to me because he's one of my Omega boards, and he's getting scholarships. He's going to George Mason, so I'm happy for him. I'm happy for all of them, but particularly Marlon because he came up through Omega. So that's the kind of boards that we work with Omega. And in terms of retirements, I retired about 10 years ago, and I'm happy, but I'm still doing some work, and those folks are retiring. They spend time in your district. I don't know if you have planned a dinner, but I'm suggesting that somehow you do something for some foundation, so when you have retirements next year, plan a retirement dinner for those folks who gave up themselves all the years they did to make a difference in the lives of kids.
Great idea.
And what I need to talk about now for a second is the youth basketball program. The program has been going on for approximately 7 years. And you saw some young men come before you who received some accolades for things they had done. Those young men came up, each of those young men who came before you came up through that program. And they were little guys. And they grew and grew and grew, and you saw how big they are. Okay? And they're doing very well. Those kids who are seniors are going to go out and go to college and get scholarships to go play basketball. Those kids who are juniors and sophomores, they're going to make a difference next year. And the fact that Randy is the coach, and Randy graduated Lakewood High School. I don't know if all of you know that. He was a student. He graduated, came back. He could have gone almost anywhere, but he came back to get back to Lakewood to the students. And the issue I'm raising, and I'm sure you guys have discussed it, and I know construction is going on in the building. I do understand that. I understand HVACs and how construction takes place. But what you got to do, you're going to have school in session from 8 to 12. I'm asking you, and I need to talk about it, I need some answers, to allow this program to go on for the month while summer school is taking place. He can adjust the time some of my Omega kids will be in that program. They are from Lakewood. Okay? So what I'm asking you to please take a look at this, Madam Superintendent and board members, to try to readjust. Now, I know there'll be a few kids who are not residents of Lakewood. Whatever we can do, whatever I can do with my business to provide the insurance for those kids to be involved, I will do that. Okay? My consultant firm will put up the necessary, whatever it takes to have insurance to cover those kids who are not Lakewood students. But what I'm doing is I'm asking you to allow this program to take place. Now, I understand there are other gyms. But if you've gone to Lakewood High School gym, it's one of the best gyms in the state. Because you can run 7 or 8 games at the same time. It makes a difference. I know you got a middle school gym and Oak Street School gym, but there's nothing like the high school gym. It's the largest gym, so a lot of kinds of things can take place during that time. So I'm asking you to take a few minutes, discuss this, and allow that program keeps a lot of our kids off the streets. It's been successful each year because you saw the results of it tonight. These guys are tonight were juniors and seniors, but they started off with 5th and 6th graders in that program. So if you could provide some responses, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Dr.
Chair,
Through the chair, when you say adjust the schedule, and adjust the recreation schedule?
No, what I'm suggesting is you have summer school. Summer school is from 8 to 12. Okay? And what I'm suggesting, while summer school is taking place, allow the program to take place from 8 to 12. You still have students in the building. Okay, so it's not just the gym. Other areas of the high school is being renovated. So I understand the insurance and the dangers, but the dangers aren't there because of 8 to 12. And we have summer school going from 8 to 12, so we're suggesting that allow these programs or that program to take place between 8 and 12, and the kids have lunch at 12 o'clock and they go home. The same way we run the summer school. So Jesse, you work with the community, work with your coach, who's not getting paid, by the way. This is something he decided to do. He made it a very small stipend for kids who are non-resident Lakewoods, but Lakewood kids don't pay. And I know because several of my boys who were playing ball went through that program.
Through the chair?
Through the chair, I just want to say that we should make all effort to make it happen. And I think one of the most highest priorities for this board is to make sure that our students, as well as other students, are kept busy in the summer. You know, summer month can be very challenging for young kids. I have kids of my own, trying to keep them busy. So I think we should make all the effort to make sure that that they have the space and the time to be able to play ball, and eventually we'll see them later on here, you know, being presented awards for their accomplishments. So I think we should make all the effort and fully support it. If somebody could shed light in terms of availability and challenges in terms of having it during construction. Kevin, anybody could talk about it?
But that is not the issue. The issue is that you can't use the gym after 12 because of construction. The issue is having summer school meets the gym and mixing kids with the summer school program and bringing another program while summer school students use the gym.
Dr. Rush, your program needs to be between 8 and 12?
But I guess what I'm saying is, I understand that you have summer school and some of the school kids use the gym, but I'm sure that we can be flexible enough for the program to take place and the kids go to summer school. We're talking about 30, 35 kids in this program. So the program can be flexible enough so it doesn't interrupt the schedule for the kids who are in summer school. Yes, some of the kids are taking gym. While they're taking gym, then I'm sure Randy can come up with something else to work with the kids. He can have a lecture, talk to them. But all those things can be worked out. That's what I'm saying. If we're all flexible, we can make this happen so all the kids are taken care of. The kids in summer school and Randy's kids as well.
We have to look to see how many kids are in summer school. All that hasn't worked out, so we have to look at all that.
Okay, so all I'm asking is that to try to be flexible.
When is this program supposed to start?
The program starts on the 29th.
The June 29th?
June 29th.
Well, that's less than 10 days.
Right.
Ms. Winters, do you know how many kids are going to be in our summer program?
No, but I don't know how the program started June 29th.
The date for Randy's program starts on the 29th. That was the proposal that was put in. And I know there's some issues that the Lakewood Community Center is involved, the township was involved, but actually Lakewood Community Center, because you got to provide some other things to give some community people are involved.
Because we notified the township that we can't have any summer programs at the high school. We notified them months ago because of the project at the high school.
But what I'm saying is, Ms. Winters, with all due respect, you have a successful high school coach who has been able to keep a lot of kids off the streets.
And it's volunteering.
Pardon me?
And he's a volunteer.
They're volunteering. So
for that money.
what I'm asking you and the board to do is be flexible and see what you can put your heads together so the program can take place. I know you can't work it out tonight, but if you and anybody else can meet with Randy Holmes and anybody else is working with them and say, let's see what we can do together to make this program go forward. I understand summer school and the kids, but I think most of these are Lakewood kids. There's a few of them not from Lakewood, but I think we can work together, be flexible to make this happen. And that's what I'm asking.
Maybe we can ask the township to provide maybe a police officer or someone to help out. That costs money.
Okay, the way this program is run, you have enough volunteers, including myself, who will be around. And so we don't need, I understand the Board of Education, but we don't need, these kids are coming because they want to be involved. So you don't need security. Security is not the issue. It's being able to have the gym so the kids can practice and learn skills that are necessary. So it's not a security issue that we're concerned.
You have my support.
Thank you.
But the program is starting in 10 days, and they need some certainty. So
Right.
let's try to.
If we could say, allow the program to start, but allow Ms. Winters to work with Randy Holmes and anybody else who's working with him to try to say, okay, this is the flexibility we can have, we can make this work.
Right. So I'll make a motion to direct the administration to try to make it work, and if there is any needs that they should be addressed, the board will keep the go ahead do it. I'll make a motion right now.
I will second that motion as well to make sure that happens.
Any discussion?
Roll call.
Jack Whitt. Yes. Mr. Schwartz.
Stay.
Mr. Tipp.
Yes.
Mr. Weinberg is absent. Mrs. Blackman.
Yes.
Mr. Friedman.
Absolutely.
Mr. Gonzalez.
You have the new board members, I think you didn't call them.
They could vote on this issue. This is not. Something.
Yeah, there's no background needed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Call their names.
And I would ask if somebody could get back to Randy and that. I would suggest that within 2 days, by Monday, somebody should get back to Dr. Rush and Randy and let them know how the district could accommodate the program.
Mr. Schwartz. Just a side note, Mr. Hockey is concerned about number 19, the Museum of Natural History cost. It's $250. There's an extra zero in there. Just for clarification.
Do we make the adjustment? Will you vote on that part of the meeting? Mr. Campbell can do that administratively. The record should just reflect it's 250, not 25.
Councilor Lynn? Oh, no, vote, Councilor Lynn?
Anybody else?
You can't read it? You can't make it?
It says he.
Did you read that in Spanish?
I don't even know how to read Spanish. Mine was the
It's close enough approximation. I'm not going to hold you on that. Just a short background check of resident of Lakewood for 22 years. School administrator, chief of service, private school, a parent there as well. I just asked the board to take into consideration when they consider
Lakewood Farmers' application, Lakewood Farmers' RFP that is submitted with perhaps there's just misindication about the exact qualifications that have to be submitted with the RFP. To take into account that I teach high school currently in boys' private high schools, and the need for his services is dire. There are no vendors servicing this particular sector, as far as I know. I haven't taught in 2 high schools, and there haven't been any services provided for these students. And I've seen Mr. Farkas' work in the last 4 years. He's done supplementary education in Michigan Service, and I'm very impressed with both his passion to help every kid succeed with these programs, with the limited resources that they have. And I believe you do a fantastic job to help high school students succeed as well. So I ask you to take into consideration how much you can, as much consideration to help him get going for next year.
Thank you. So are you saying there's no other vendor that provides the services for us?
As far as I'm aware, and I'm in elementary school, and we're well provided for, but it's the 2 service schools that I worked in had no services, had no kind of services.
Is it my understanding from conversations before that Mark, you will, together with the State Monitor, look into it?
Yes, we're going to look into the
All right.
issues. To
So, you know, if it's legal, it's legal. If it's not legal, then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bergerman? Mesa? Roachman?
Mesa Grossman, resident of 1510 Monmouth Avenue. As far as maybe looking redundant, I just want to
I can't really hear you, sir.
He's been working in Michigan Service, that's where I work, administratively, Michigan Service. He's been working with us for 4 years, very conscientious, very, really puts a lot of work with the children and in-class support and special education, also with our library. And if there's anybody who can help, which I understand what you said, I see what can be done. Just figured out, since I'm still here, I'll put a good word for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question for the person that was just up. Did you say that the vendor is working in your school now?
The gentleman, not as a total, for a different vendor, he is working in the school in the kind of program.
With a different vendor? Gotcha, okay, so that's one of the extension.
Somebody before that, please pronounce his name. His last name is Clifton, not with the sign to speak. No? Okay.
Mr. Berger? Keith?
Keith Gertner, 141 Devon Court, Lakewood, New Jersey. Been a resident of Lakewood, born and raised in Lakewood for 46 years. First, I'd like to just say, I know he's left, but congratulations again to Mr. Craddock on his retirement. I've known him for a long time, and very proud to have been able to have him as a coach and mentor during my years here. And I believe the German teacher left, but just as a side note, as a graduate of Lakewood through their AP German class, ich bin ein Einer, for those who know. The reason I'm up here today, just want to quickly ask a question. I like to talk about trends, looking at what's going on toward next year. I know you're renting Holy Family. I'm just trying to figure out what the organization of the schools will be next year. My brother, some of you may know, teaches in the middle school, so I'm well aware that it's already overpopulated and above legislative mandated class sizes for their general classes. With my understanding from what I can glean from the size of the 5th grade, which will be then moving into the 6th grade, next year, there's going to be an extra 100 or so children going into the middle school, but I might be wrong. So I'd just like you guys to explain what the balance is and the appropriation of children to the middle school next year.
Holy Family, we are calling Pioneer Elementary. is going to house preschool, 9 preschool classrooms, kindergarten classrooms, and first grade classrooms. Spruce Street Elementary School will house preschool disabled classrooms, kindergarten classrooms, and first grade classrooms. Oak Street School will house first grade through 5th grade, Ellen G. Clark, 2nd grade through 5th grade. Clifton Avenue Grade School, 2nd grade through 5th grade. Middle school will remain 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Middle school will have about 75 to 80 students, depending on how many students move. We actually have sent over we got 2 quotes for dividing classrooms at the middle school. We had 4 classrooms that were approximately 1,800 square feet, so we will have 4 new classrooms for next year. We have, right now, we did class lists. We have about 25 students in each classroom. So we do have 4 new classrooms for next year.
That's 25 is your average per class, or?
Average.
Okay, when you just look at the general classes, general population classrooms, are they above or below 25? Because if you, or when you do the averages, are you taking into account the smaller classes that are?
No, we don't take into account any special ed classrooms. We take into account regular general education classrooms have about 25 students in each classroom.
Okay.
We're not averaging them.
And these new classes, they're going to be fit with the right size. I mean, that, like I said, from everybody I know, the population in the school has pretty much at its brink already. So the added amount of children, just curious if, how it's going to stay the same.
No, we have all the numbers. There are 25 students in approximately each classroom.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. That completes the public portion. So that completes the list.
Understand, thank you.
I just want to make a motion, resolve that the board hereby agrees to extend the Title I contracts with its current vendors upon the same terms and conditions until August 30th, 2015, or until new contracts can be awarded.
Second.
Discussion?
What were the reasons for the contracts on
The reason is that for some reason the contracts for the 2015-2016 school year for Title I for non-public services were not ready, were not advertised, and July 1st the services need to continue and the vendor's contract expiring June 30th.
Are you saying RFP didn't go out?
Did not go out, correct.
You know why? I spoke to Mr. Azaro earlier about that. He's going to look into the reason why the RFP did not go out, or the distributor didn't go out. I'm not doubting Mr. Bonney, by the way. It's not appear to went out. I'm going to check into that.
Well, I checked with the monitor, David Schefter, and he confirmed that he did not go out, and the district will make an effort to make sure it's going out, but until then, and until it's being reviewed, put together, and adopted, the review committee has to meet, the previous contract, which is the current contract, should be in effect. That is the...
Mrs. Lockett, is the motion that has an expiration date?
Yes, August 30th, or until. If it goes beyond August 30th, then the current contract will still be in effect. Again, it's with the same terms and conditions as...
Yeah, my understanding is that we should put it down on August 30th, not beyond that.
But what happens if on September 2nd, there's still RFPs not back?
Well, I have still got 2 or 3 meetings up until August 30th, which I think we'll have a better idea of where we're at. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think we should just
I don't think it'll be an issue either.
No.
Well, last year, to remind you, the services did not start on time, even beyond August 30th. So
No, last year was a whole-
I think we should...
Let's not compare last year, it was a whole different story.
Well, we have responsibility as a board to make sure the children get services starting July 1st.
I agree.
And September 1st and October 1st, and there's no harm in structuring the motion this way, because if the RFP comes back, then it comes back, and it's going to be in effect. That will supersede, the new RFP will supersede this motion or any other contract, so there's no harm in doing it.
And Mr. Chair, that I do, know what Joe was talking about, that the reason why last year someone brought up that the the contract was signed was because mostly that they weren't in compliance with the state guidelines.
Well, that's,
I don't think that's accurate. No, I'm saying, but the reason why.
that's not the reason, Tracy. The reason why, whatever the reason, we had a meeting why they were not.
I'm not saying for this time, I'm saying you brought up last year as far as.
Yeah, last year had nothing to do with compliance,
There was a delay in the contract being signed.
but nothing to do with compliance.
We don't need to rehash last year.
I think it's a mistake to do that only because we want the vendors to sign the contract and not rely on the motion we're making right
Yeah,
now.
this just protects the services going forward, because they have to start on July 1st.
That's why I
basically
think-
what we're doing is we're carrying over.
I agree, and I think we should still put a deadline on it, because otherwise the vendors will not be inclined to rush to sign the contract. I think it's important that we get the new contract signed.
Okay,
rather than
I agree with that. I agree. Okay, now that you're saying it like that, I agree with that point. Go ahead.
So if you want
So you want to
amend the motion?
and then we have a couple meetings ahead of it, so we can always see what's going on. And
Correct.
all right, yeah, I'm fine with
You want to
that.
amend your motion?
Yes, I will language. Yes,
So it's just to August 30th.
yes. And I'll make it part of my motion to direct the administration to issue the SAP because, in my opinion, it should have been issued to make sure that it is in effect on July 1st. That's the beginning of the new school year.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
Mr. Tisch?
Yes.
Mr. Weinberg is absent. Mr. Zlakin?
Yes.
Mr. Jakovich? Sorry.
The couple.
Stay. Rodriguez? Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion passed. We're at the corrections. I have some corrections for the public version only. You guys have it in your packages, so this is for the public only. There's one correction on the business administrator items. Page 13, items V and W will be replaced by letters V and W in the additions to the agenda. Okay? And I have one other one on the superintendent items, page 46, personnel certification, letter E21, remove O'Hara Gina. Those are the only two corrections that I have, and they're only on the public version.
I make the motion to move it.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call. Mr. Jankovic? Yes. Mr. Schwartz? I'll accept it. Mr. Tisch? Okay, on the public agenda only, it's not on yours. Okay, it's the business administrator items, page 13, items G and W will be replaced by letters V and W on the additions to the agenda. So Weinberg is absent. Mr. Zlakin?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobowitz?
Stay.
Mr. Rodriguez? Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Correction has been accepted. Next on the agenda are the additions to the agenda. Additions to the agenda. We start on page 1 through page 10. Any motion to accept the agenda, the addition to the agenda?
Is this the correction or the actual?
These are the additions to the agenda. We just did the correction.
Yes, I make a motion to move it.
Any discussion? Schwartz?
I will vote no on the additions as has been my practice in the past.
Mr. Tibbs? Okay.
If you look at that, maybe explain. On page 48, item number 8, and also on the new agenda, on page 51, item number 2. What did you say? Page 48, item number 8, and on page 51, item number 2.
Page 48. That's the superintendent.
I understand. That's what I was going to figure out. So, I'm sorry.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Weinberg is absent. Mr. Swankin?
Yes. We're voting on the addendum, right?
The additions to the agenda.
Yes.
Mr. Jacobowitz? Is that a yes?
Present?
It's yes or no?
Abstain.
Stay.
Mr. Rodriguez? Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Motion to accept the agenda passes. Next on the is the business agenda.
What pages? What pages?
That's page 3 through 14 on the regular one, and then you have the additions to the body of the agenda, which is page 1 and 2. That's the business agenda.
Motion?
Second.
I have a question through the chair. Item L, which is on page 7. Under the lease purchase for folks, I believe. And we're looking to hire a bidding coordinator and a special counsel to advise us and assist us in this lease purchase. I just wanted to know how much those two will cost us.
I believe the quote for the educational side is about 2,500, and I think legal was about 35.
300?
Yes.
Okay, so I thought we did 500,000 in books. So I guess it's 550 that we do.
Yes, I have 3 quotes for 550,000. I brought the quotes with me so I can see.
What is this for? If you could explain, Kevin?
Textbooks.
Okay. So was this amount in the budget?
Yes.
So we're just approving what?
You're approving to go out and secure the books through the lease purchase.
So if it was in the budget, why are we going out for lease purchase?
It's the lease portion of that's in the budget, not the 550,000.
Okay. What is the total amount?
555,000.
So you're saying it's not in the budget?
No, there's 125,000 in that particular line item.
How much?
125,000 in that particular line item. When you take the 550,000.
I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Do you know which books we're going to be purchasing for this year?
Yes, I have a copy of the estimate. Would you like to take a look at it?
I have a question on item Z on page 14. Page 14, item Z. If somebody could shed light on what are the services that will be provided through this?
Mr. Shoup is a consultant for the district for all the requests for proposals to make sure they're all in compliance. What we do is we speak with him and any technical issues that we have for these RFPs, reviewing some of the procedural things that may come up.
Okay. So my question is to Mr. Schafter. The district has 2 monitors. One of them is a financial monitor. Is it possible for Mr. Schafter to provide those, his expertise in RFPs? Why the district is paying, I believe, $96 an hour for the monitors, and we have 2 of them that are available to provide the knowledge. Why is there a need to pay another additional $30,000? So my question is, can we table it and then reevaluate if the monitors could provide this service since they're getting paid for providing this?
If you answer the question, I'd like to probably have an answer for it.
Yes, the duties of the monitor.
I can hear you.
The duties of the monitor is not to do the day-to-day operations of the district. While we do advise the purchasing department, it's really our duty to, once the work is done, to do a final review of it to make sure it's done properly.
Oversee.
That's correct.
Isn't this basic duties of the business administrator to prepare RFPs?
We have a purchasing department that actually does that, but yes, it is a form of the business administrator's thing. Some of the questions are very technical in nature, and him being the expert in that area, it's always good to get the consultation from him for the legal issues.
This is a set fee, not a per time, right?
It's per hour fee up to.
Mark, you want to speak about this?
Mr. Zlotkin asked me if I'd seen this before, I think was his question.
My question is if we pay both combined, one is a physical monitor, which oversees the finances, and we have a direct monitor who is just for finances. And if that is the practice that they would not provide, I guess, their expertise.
But the way I read this resolution is that it's going to be on an as-needed basis, depending upon whether the state monitors feel that, I guess, the proposal is super technical or super complicated, that they would need the expertise. Somebody like Mr. Struser, who is considered the expert in the state of New Jersey on public contracting. So I don't think this is going to be a routine use of Mr. Struser, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Schachter, but
That's
it's going to be more on an ad hoc basis, depending on the complexity of the proposal.
That's correct.
All right.
Thank you.